Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 77 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills answers your table tennis questions. Today, we talk about the benefit of pre-point routines and overcoming nerves. We discuss how much you can improve by watching videos and what rubber is good for a beginner. As always, Supercoach Alois Rosario is here with me to answer your questions. Welcome, Alois.
Thanks, Jeff, and good morning, PingSkillers.
Yes, it's really dark now at 6 o'clock, Alois, in the morning, and still 6:30 now, still dark.
Yeah, that's right. The days are getting a little bit shorter, but we've still got lots of light here. Still light at about 8:30 at night. So good times here in Australia.
Indeed, yeah, good time of year and lots of sport on the TV, so it's great. And we're here, Alois, to talk about table tennis. We've got a interesting question of the day yesterday, which was, in how many countries is table tennis played? And alongside that, Brock has asked a question that says, how famous do you think table tennis is in the world? Do you think table tennis is one of the most famous sports? And I guess one way to gauge that is how many countries play table tennis.
Yeah, so there's around 218 countries affiliated with the ITTF, and I know they're working on a couple more, and I think they've almost got the most number of countries of any sport in the world affiliated. So it's a huge sport, and that's on the back of a huge development program that they've had going for many years now, and started by one of the Australians that we used to play with. It was Glenn Tepper. So he started the development program in the Oceania region and worked hard to get countries affiliated there. But now it's spread right around the world to all the continents, and he's worked really hard, and the team at the ITTF have worked really hard to spread the game. So 218, and it might even be more. I think it's probably closer to 220 as we speak. So great job with table tennis, and it is a huge sport around the world.
It certainly is, isn't it? And I think they're doing a good job presenting some of the bigger events. We were starting to see them look more professional, and I've got a feeling it's just going to go from strength to strength. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And like our question yesterday, and Dieter made a comment on there about the show yesterday, and he was talking about the Chinese, and he said, I just wish that they would, show some emotion or at the end, or just show that they're happy to win matches. And I think it's a really critical factor. I was watching, can't remember, maybe it was the Q80 Open and Ma Long and Zhu Xin playing. Great match. Ma Long wins. And at the end, they just shake hands, and Ma Long sort of puts his hand up to the crowd a little bit, but just not enough. Yeah, we just need more from the top players.
We do get that sometimes. Zhang Zhique ripping his shirt off after winning the title, or the other time he got fined his whole match fee for kicking down the barriers. I mean, he's certainly showing emotion.
Yeah, exactly. And so the one guy breaks out of the mold and he gets fined $50,000. I mean, I don't condone his, the kicking of the barriers, but maybe it's just that pent up emotion, of not being able to just allow himself to celebrate, and we just need to change that area of the game.
Indeed. All right. Well, that moves us on, Alois, to the PingSkills question for today, which is, what are the critical factors that make the Chinese better? So put your thinking caps on, find out what you think is the reason the Chinese are better. Leave a comment on our blog. Go to pingskills.com, click on the blog link, and you'll find this show there, and leave a comment to let us know your thoughts. And tomorrow, Alois and I will give our thoughts on why the Chinese are better. All right, let's get into some of the viewers' questions. Alois, Matt has asked a question. He says, I get nervous during matches. My arm feels very nervous, as if it's almost shaking. This doesn't help my shots as they start to miss. I am an attacker, but sometimes I'm too scared to attack. How can I stop these problems?
Yeah. So again, really common question, Matt. So in a game situation, often we get uh, really nervous, and that's just your emotional level changing or going up. So you start to your heartbeat starts to get faster. You start to get what we call butterflies in the stomach. Your arms start to maybe even shake or get nervous. Your legs stop. So all of these are just signs that your emotional level is going way too high and over the top. So you need to find, or firstly, need to recognize what's happening there, and then secondly, find some ways that can help you to calm yourself down. Often just a simple, nice deep breath can start to help you to do that. But you need to find ways to just firstly recognize that that's happening to you, and then secondly, start to think about finding ways of calming yourself. And as I said, a breath is really good. Just taking a few seconds away from the table, walk away from the table, clear your thoughts, think about your tactics, focus back on the ball. All those sorts of things will help you to focus your mind on what should be focused on, and not starting to worry about what's happening in the match and the result of the match and will I win, will I lose, will this ball go on the table. Just let yourself play.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic, isn't it, Alice? I mean, when I was a junior and just starting out and getting better and better, I don't recall getting nervous hardly at all. I think I was just, focused on just improving, and there was no real expectation of results. So it was really easy just to get out there and play and just, go for it. But then as I got better, and then there was more expectation, and there's some matches where, I thought I probably should beat a player. When that sort of happened later on, I did get nervous in some matches, and definitely cost me matches where I was too nervous to play as well as I could. And I think, a lot of it is about that expectation and thinking about the result rather than concentrating on point by point and just, playing each ball on its merits.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think just that it's often self-expectation. Sometimes it's expectation of others, but often it's self-expectation and where you think that you should be. And if you're not living up to that expectation, then suddenly your stress levels start to go up. Or so just try to treat each point as it comes. Treat the opponent with respect, and just work really hard at winning each point.
Yeah, it sounds so simple when you put it like that, doesn't it? But it can be really difficult. But I think it's like every skill, isn't it? It's just something you need to work at, keep getting better at, and it's something you probably should be practicing.
Yeah, you need to practice it constantly during your training. It's not just something that will happen when you go out there and start to play matches. In your training, start to focus on how calm you can keep yourself. Put yourself into stressful situations in training. Put yourself into some match situations. Put some pressure on yourself to perform during your drills. So don't just do your drills, but do your drills and try to get 5 balls on in a row or 10 balls on in a row. Try to win the point during the drill. Those sort of things. So put yourself under some pressure so that you can start to practice that area of your game. So we've got a section on sports psychology on the site, and that's something that you can definitely start to look through. There's a free lesson up there about just recognizing your feelings. Take a look at that one, and then there's also some other premium lessons which will be really useful as well for you.
Great. I'll put those links to those videos in the show notes, Alice. All right. So that moves us on to a similar question, Alice, from Dieter, who says, last session our coach taught us the mental device of discharge, relax, recharge between every 2 points. I was focused less on tactical planning, and it was hard completing this routine against players who served immediately. Is it worth developing this?
Yeah. So indeed, as extended question, he also talks about when he was trying to do the routine, his opponent was starting to get a little bit annoyed with him and that sort of thing because it was taking time. So firstly, developing a routine is definitely good. It's something that you should work on. It's something that you should think about during your training. A routine, though, needs to be really simple. It needs to be something that you can complete in a couple of seconds. If you can't complete it in a couple of seconds, then you're going to be starting to put yourself under pressure of time and trying to complete your routine and worrying about what the other person's thinking or the umpire yelling at you. So a routine can be as simple as just taking a breath, taking a nice deep breath, which takes a few seconds, and then thinking about the tactic you're going to use in the next point. So that's 1 second. And then focusing on the ball, half a second. So in those 5 seconds or so, you can start to develop a simple routine that's going to keep you pretty grounded, and it's going to give you something to focus on and occupy your mind for those few seconds in between points.
Yeah, interesting, Alois. And so Dieter's coach called it discharge, relax, and recharge. So why do they give it that name?
Yeah, so that's just a technique that you can use. You know, discharging all your thoughts or energies, then relaxing. So you know, taking a breath or whatever it is, and then recharge. So it can be anything. You know, just getting yourself moving again, getting yourself on your toes, that sort of thing. So there are just a whole lot of different routines that you can use and different ways that you can do it. You need to find something that works well for you, but you need to also think about making sure that it's nice and simple so that you can get it done in a few seconds in between points, and that'll help you to, as I say, occupy your mind. So the real time that we find problems is in between points when we've got too much time. So if you've got, 10 seconds in between points, that's when the head starts to churn things around, thinking, oh, it's 10-9, what do I do here? I need to win this point. Can I serve short? Oh, yeah, last time I tried to serve short, I didn't serve short, and the ball went long, and he attacked me, and gee, if I don't win this point, then I'm not going to progress to the next round, and all those sorts of negative things start to happen in your head. If you can occupy your mind during those few seconds with a simple routine of a breath, tactics, focus on the ball, then there's less chance of those negative thoughts going through your head.
Very interesting, Alois. Now, do I need to do this every point? It sounds like a lot to do every point, or can I just wait till that 10-9 point and then implement my pre-point routine?
Yeah, I think you need to recognise when your mind's starting to wander, you're starting to get those sort of thoughts through your head, and when you do, then you can use your routine.
Interesting. Now, I noticed, for people that watch tennis, someone like Nadal seems to have this routine, and he seems to do it every point, no matter what. And he just seems like this animal that's just so focused. And even some of the other top tennis players, Djokovic, seems to have this routine where he bounces the ball a certain number of times, and they seem to use this all the time.
Yeah, sorry. So just a simple routine, I think, is important that you use every single point. But your breath, or trying to calm yourself down, that is something that you can use. Maybe during towel breaks every 6 points, or when you feel like you really need to. So yes, yeah, you're perfectly right. Nadal will go through the same routine every single point, right through to picking his shorts out of his backside. So that's just something that he has to do for him to feel like he's going to play well. So yeah, those sort of routines are almost OCD like, obsessive compulsive like, aren't they? But yeah, that's often the life of a top sportsman.
Great. All right. Well, thanks very much, Dieter, for the question, and hopefully some of those thoughts help you out. All right. Now, Nikki T, thank you for jumping on live and asking a question using the Google Q&A app. We love these. Nikki T says, I am a beginner and I'm trying to learn how to return side spin serves. What tips can you give me?
Okay, Nikki. The most important thing is thinking about the angle of your racket. So if they're serving with side spin, the ball is going to come at the bat and it's going to go off sideways, either that way or that way, just depending on which type of side spin they put on it. So if the ball is going to go off that way, then you need to start to change the angle of your racket so that now when it hits your racket and goes off sideways off the racket, it's now going towards your target. So that's the most important thing to start to think about. Change the angle of your racket like a rudder so that you are getting the ball to go straight back. So work really hard on that and you'll start to understand what's happening. So firstly, watch which way the ball's going off, and then you need to adjust the angle of your racket so that the ball just goes straight back.
Excellent. All right, good luck with that, Nikki. I guess the other thing that's difficult for beginners, and I guess this is just experience, is working out which way the ball's going to spin, because sometimes someone might do a serve and it'll hit your racket and jump off to the left, and then suddenly the next serve it'll hit your racket and jump off to the right. So until you can kind of work out what type of side spin's on the ball, that can be really difficult and frustrating, Alois.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? The thing to do is to really watch the ball when your opponent's serving. So firstly, watch as they've got the ball in their hand, as they're throwing it up, and you'll see what they're doing with their racket peripherally as well. So if they brush across that way, then the ball's going to spin off that way. If they brush across the other way, then the ball's going to spin off the other way as well. So you'll start to learn this, and the best way to do it is to find a server that can just serve to you repetitively, get them to mix up the direction that they're serving, the type of serve they're doing, and just repetitively try to get that ball back. Don't try and do too much. Don't try and smash it or anything. Just try to push the ball back and control the ball back onto the table, and you'll start to recognize the links between what the server's doing and what type of spin is being imparted on the ball.
Okay, great. All right, well, Nikki, work on those things, keep persevering, and soon you'll be returning those side spin serves. Good luck with
so
it.
Our receiving secrets section covers this really comprehensively, so that's probably an area that you can start to think about looking into as well.
Yep, indeed. All right, the next one is from Christopher. Thanks, Christopher, for jumping on as well. And Christopher says, I've recently started a small table tennis club with 4 tables. What are some good ways to attract people to the club? Are there any other nuggets of wisdom to help with the initial phase?
Yeah, it's certainly not an easy task, so well done, Christopher, for taking it on. It depends on what type of community you're in. If you're looking at younger players, I think targeting schools is a great way to attract players to your club. Perhaps finding the time to just visit the school, doing a bit of a clinic at the school might be useful if you can do that. Get a couple of players to visit the school, go there and see if you can attract players to the club that way. The other thing is, just notices, Facebook, use other community type organisations, the local newspaper, and then probably your biggest one is word of mouth. So, get players to spread the word about the club, and if you're offering a good service, that will happen as well.
Yeah, I think that's a point, Alois, that word of mouth one and offering a good service, because especially in a local community, that's a great way to do it. So I think if you kind of hold regular events that are fun, then it's really good. So if a new member comes into the club through word of mouth and has an event they can sort of compete in, or a training session they can train in immediately and just get involved, then they're going to spread the word. So, you know, when I first started playing at the table tennis club in ACT, they had like a handicap competition on like a Friday night and a Sunday. And it was a really good way to start to get involved. You could just come along, play some matches against people sort of similar to your level in your group, and you got rated, so you got a head start or gave away a head start depending on who you were playing against. And if you progressed, you got to play against some better players as well. So just holding some events that are fun and that people can come in and feel welcome and feel like they're part of it straight away really helps. And then that word of mouth will start to spread and the club will grow.
Yeah, great. That's a really good one, and something that worked for you. So the other really important thing I think is just make sure that every new person that walks in the door gets a really good welcome. That that you make them feel like they're welcome there. Have someone in charge of that, or you be in charge of that, or whatever it is, or just create the atmosphere where people do welcome new players into the club. Again, that's the word of mouth that's going to get you new players. We often recommend that players go and join a club, and sometimes we hear bad experiences of, oh yeah, well I went there, but they said I wasn't good enough, or and I think that's so critical that when a new person walks in the door, that they are made to feel welcome, that they get onto the table, you find someone for them to hit with, or there's some sort of structured way that players can get on the table, whether it's a tournament or whether it's just organising someone to have a hit with them, just see how what level they are, providing coaching perhaps, if that's something that you think you're capable of doing. So yeah, so all those sorts of things I think can help, and hopefully other PingSkillers that have gone through this might be able to leave some comments on the show as well about things that they've been able to do that's worked well for them.
Yeah, good idea. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts, leave a comment. And congratulations, Christopher, on your initiative, and we wish you the best of luck. All right, that moves us on to Dakota's question, Alice. He says, do you think there is a limit to how far reading and watching videos can take you? I've put in countless hours of reading up on the many aspects of the game and watching videos.
Yep. So definitely, Dakota, there comes a time where you have to actually go out there and hit the ball. And that's the most important thing for me. Learning about the game is great. Watching what you can do is great. But you have to, if you're going to improve, you have to go out and just put as many hours as you can out on the table actually hitting the ball. So that's the baseline. That's the critical factor for improvement.
Excellent. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, watching videos is obviously beneficial to get, pictures in your head of what the right stroke is and everything, but until you execute it over and over and over, you're not going to improve that much.
Yeah. So we talked a few shows ago about the different ways that people learn. So some people learn better by watching or by reading or by gathering all the information or hearing about it. But all those things help. But doing is for me the most critical factor.
Excellent. All right. Hopefully that helps answer your question, Dakota. The next question is from Thomas, who says, I am 52 years old and a beginner, obviously a very rare and unusual species. According to your experience, what is the minimum thickness of sponge of Mark V that you would recommend to learn with?
Okay, so firstly, not such a rare species. We discover lots of you around the place. But for Mark V, I think for me, probably a 1.8 mil is good. So, 1.5, 1.8, 2 mil, I think is okay. 2 mil is definitely good. 1.8 is, I think, good as well for learning, even 1.5. But probably 1.8, if you can get that, is a good way to start.
There you go. All right. Yeah, Thomas, good luck. it's always fun picking up the sport when you're not very young. There's, I guess, more challenges with time for learning and things like this, but there's no reason why you can't keep on improving at any age. Table tennis is a great sport for that, so keep on enjoying it, and good luck in your endeavours. All right, Alois, that wraps up today's show. Thanks everybody for jumping on, asking some live questions. We really love getting those questions. It's been a really good show, and we look forward to another show tomorrow. Make sure you check out pingskills.com and sign up for our free newsletter. You'll get lots of free table tennis tips. And thank you very much, Alois.
Yep, thanks, Jeff, and have a great day, PingSkillers. Tuesday, maybe we can get some table tennis in today.
Indeed. All right. See you, everyone. Have a great day.